bring this back out. He was talking about, I'm going to read Hebrews 8 one last time. This is Hebrews chapter 8, starting at verse 10. It says, "For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Yashar'Allah after those days, saith the Lord, I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a power, and they shall be to me a people."
Right, so we ain't going to be going off in that day, man. We're going to be programmed like how a computer is programmed, man. Ain't going to be no going off in that day.
Right, verse 11, "And they shall not teach every man his neighbor, and every man his brother, saying, Know the Lord, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest." Verse 12, "For I will be merciful unto their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. In that he saith, a new covenant he hath made the first old, now that which decayeth and waxeth old is ready to vanish away."
Right, so in that scripture, where's the other nations involved in that scripture? That's talking about Israel, man.
God. Revelation chapter 22 and verse 14. "Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city." Revelation 21. Right, so there you go right there. The new covenant is for the nation of Yashar'Allah, man. They didn't say nothing about the heathen nations. It's going to be programmed in our minds and put in our hearts that we won't be able to go on. And having that is the requirement to get into the kingdom of heaven. Right? And we are going to be doing what in the kingdom of heaven? It tells you in Isaiah 2 that we're going to be judging those nations. Judging them, why? We're going to be teaching them the law, statutes, and commandments of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, and when they go off, we'll deal with them accordingly. Right?
Good. This is Revelations chapter 21, verse 1.
Right?
"And I saw a new heaven and a new earth, for the first heaven and the first earth passed." Salakia.
The one that says they come down like stone like jasper. Right here. Right there.
This is Revelation chapter 21, verse 10. "And he carried me away in the spirit to a great and high mountain, and showed me the great city, the holy Jerusalem, descending out of heaven from the Most High."
So when the Most High took John the Revelator and carried him into the spirit, he showed him the elect men of Yashar'Allah coming back down out of the chariots, man. Because Jerusalem is a people before it's a place. In the Hebrew, Yerushalayim, which means city of peace, right? Israel was named after a man, man. Go ahead.
Verse 11, "Having the glory of Yahawah, and her light was like unto a stone most precious, even like a jasper stone, clear as crystal."
Right, because the scriptures tell you that before we can even get into those chariots, our bodies have to be changed to a celestial body, an incorruptible body, to even get into the chariots. So when they come back down, John is seeing the beauty and of what the elect look like in those spiritual incorruptible bodies. John is seeing, you know, 144,000 men, 12,000 men from each tribe of the children of Israel coming back down with, and he's seeing them come back down out of the chariots with those incorruptible bodies, right? Go ahead.
Verse 12.
Right.
And had a wall great and high, and had 12 gates, and at the gates 12 angels, and names written thereon, which are the names of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel.
Right, because when Israel gets put back in their own land, we're gonna get our inheritances back, man. In Jerusalem, we're gonna have Gad is gonna live where they're gonna live. Reuben is gonna have their section. Those heathen ain't gonna be allowed to come over there, man. They gotta stay far away from our own land, man. You heathen have nothing to do with this new covenant, the New Testament, nor you have anything to do with the kingdom of heaven. The kingdom of heaven, for for you, for us, for the nation of Yasharallah, it's going to be your hell for 1,000 years. After you get exterminated, Esau, then guess what? The Lord is going to show mercy onto the other Gentile nations through giving them the opportunity to live a righteous lifestyle in the power of Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi by doing what? Keeping his laws. But you're going to learn that from us.
Yep. That's why I said the dead live not to get into the 1,000 years are over, man. Because they actually going to get a chance to live. And that's going to show you the judgment of Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi, that he allowed all the other nations to live and he exterminated your funky ass, man.
Sure. Even the Zondavins.
He got completely rid of you, man. And you gotta know that. You gotta know that while you in captivity. That the rest of the nations you serving your captivity with, they're gonna be allowed to live again, and you got a death date waiting on you, man. An extermination date, man.
This is going into what you were saying. This is going into what you were saying. How we're gonna be changed. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 51. Behold, I show you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be all changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump. For the trumpets shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed.
Now what's that last trump? That last trump is the thermonuclear, the missiles that are going to rain down on Babylon the Great, man. That's why it tells you in Isaiah 14, how is the golden city ceased, man? But as those missiles are on its way down, the elect are going to be beamed right up, man. Going into Wisdom of Solomon 5:1, they shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, man.
Verse 53, for this corruptible must put on incorruptible, and this mortal must put on immortality.
Now, what makes us incorruptible on this side is what? Not following the laws and statutes and commandments of Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi, while maintaining our faith in Yahawashi, man. The scripture says that the faith the size of a mustard seed can move a mountain, man. So how much in the kingdom of heaven when you have 100% faith in Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi? That's why our spiritual power is going to come from having that faith, because it's not really our power. We're tapping into the power of Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi, and he's allowing us to use it. So we have to have faith that exists to even tap into that kind of energy, man. Go ahead. But what's gonna make us incorruptible? Like I said, having the faith and power of Yahawah Hashem Yahawashi, and then what? Having the laws written in our minds and put in our hearts, man.
Let me bring this one out. This is John 14:12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, he shall do also. And greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father.
Get John 16:24.
This is 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse 45. And so it is written, the first man Adam was made a living soul, the last Adam was made a quickening spirit. Howbeit that was not first which is spiritual, but that which is natural, and afterward that which is spiritual. The first man is of the earth, earthy. The second man is the Lord from heaven. As is the earthy, such are they also that are earthy. And as is the heavenly, such are they also that are heavenly. Here go the point. 49. And as we have borne the image of the earthy, we shall also bear the image of the heavenly.
Right. Matter of fact, just read that real quick.
This is John chapter 16, verse 25. These things.
Hey, but that's going into giving up these fleshly bodies, man, and receiving those incorruptible bodies, man. That's what that's going into. Those incorrupt. The script going back into what we said earlier. The wages of sin is death, but the Most High is gonna write His laws in our minds and our hearts, making us what? Perfect. So what's the opposite of sin? Well, keeping the laws. You see what I'm saying? And then what's the opposite of death, man? Life. But we're gonna keep the laws perfectly for all the time, continually, which means we're gonna have life abundantly, continually, and all the time and forevermore, making us incorruptible, man. But go ahead, read that, John.
John chapter 16, verse 25.
Right.
These things have I spoken unto you in Proverbs.
Right.
But the time cometh when I shall no more speak unto you in Proverbs, but I shall show you plainly of the Father.
Right. So right now we living in a time where the Most High gave us scraps, man, and we got to take these scraps and run with it. But when we get into the kingdom of heaven, there's going to be so much more learning that we're going to receive, man. That's why Yahawashi said we're going to be doing things he did and greater, man.
He was talking about now too, like in these last days
right,
too.
But it's gonna be so much more exponential in the kingdom of heaven, man. It's crazy, man. That's why he says my thoughts are not your thoughts, man.
Go ahead, Doc, you got it.
This is Job chapter 5, verse 19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles.
I was gonna get that.
Yeah, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee.
Right, and that's talking about the elect, because we know that last trump is the nuclear missiles, man.
Yes.
And and scripture says that the elect shall scarcely make it, man. So the D that it's referring to is the elect getting taken up in the chariots, man.
Verse 20, it say in famine, he shall redeem thee from death.
Right.
And in war from the power of the sword.
It says in Isaiah 33:6 that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and the fear of the Lord is his treasure. So that's what that's talking about right there, is staying rooted and having Yahawashi as your foundation, man. That's gonna keep you strong in that day, man.
This is Isaiah chapter 32, verse 2. And a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest,
right.
As rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land.
Now that man that is talking about is not talking about just any old man. That's talking about a man, a Yahawashi. It's going to be a hiding place. Why? It tells you in Isaiah 4:1 that 7 women shall grab hold of 1 man. Because the times that's coming to America right now is going to be so crazy. People are going to be bugged the fuck out their minds, but they're going to see, they're going to be able to point out a man of the Lord. Why? He's going to have a spirit and an aura on him. And what it's really going to, can you imagine if a hurricane is going on right now and there's complete chaos around you, but you see a man standing there, sitting there, calm and collect? You're going to be like, well, I want to be calm and collect just like you. So what's anybody in their right mind gonna do? Hey, can you tell me why you what people say nowadays, what you smoking? But we smoking Yahawashi, man. Can somebody get Isaiah 33:6 just to get just to bring it up? Man. Right, man.
This is Isaiah chapter 33, verse 6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure.
And how do you fear the Lord? Going right back to what this whole topic is about. Keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments to the best of our ability. Man.
Go ahead, you got it. Bring it.
I got Ecclesiastes chapter 2. I'm going to start at the top. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright, and constantly endure. And make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
And it said, make not haste in the time of trouble. We're rehearsing that now, man, because you fall into situations in your everyday life where in a split second you make haste, man, and then the Lord corrects you and the Spirit jumps in after that. We're trying to perfect it so where when something happens, the Spirit reacts first, man. But what does that take? It takes experience and practice. You have to continue to go through stuff and be delivered. Your faith has to continue to be tested, that you may not make haste in the time of trouble. Because when Yahawashi deliver you every time, when you go into another trouble, you don't even blink no more. You're just like, all right, the Lord gonna deliver.
That's faith. This is verse 4. Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a low estate.
So I caught a flat earlier this week, and the brother, I caught a flat first, and I already knew the Lord, and this was the first time where I didn't make haste. You know, just being honest with brothers, this was the first time in my mind I didn't make haste as soon as it happened. You know, and I was doing it, and I was taking care of it. And the brother right here pulled up out of nowhere. Wow. It's like 8 of us in the city, man.
Wow.
And for me to be on the side of the road, and rush hour, cars flying by, and to see the brother pulled over, and I look up and he's right there. That's the spirit of the Lord, man. Because that's the Lord showing us signs more and more that as things get more terrible, His light is always on us, man. His eye is always on us to protect us, man.
Right. Okay. That's crazy. Hey, you got to read on?
This second Ezra, chapter 9, verse 21. And I saw and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster and a plant of great people. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain.
That's right. Most of these people were created in vain. They created to die, man. They're born to die, man. Contrary to popular belief, there's going to be men who are delivered from death, man. They're not going to see death on this realm. They were born into this world and they're never going to have to be born again. Like physically born again, man. That's a reality that's coming to the planet Earth, man. You got men that's walking the planet right now that are never going to have to go through another woman's womb again, man. Ever again in life, man. They're never going to see death again, man. And that's what we fighting for, man. We fighting so in that day, YAHAWASHI shall deliver us, man. Like He's been delivering us. You got it, all.
Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain. And let my grape be kept, and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect.
And a part of that labor is the Lord taking us through trials and tribulations, man. Getting all that bullshit out of us, man. That Babylon that's been planted in us since we've been here, man. We've been here being indoctrinated in the wickedness. And YAHAWASHI with great labor is refining us, man, making us better. So in that day, when all of these people are suffering, the Lord is going to show His power and His mercy through us walking around the planet.
Fire precept. Must be allowed to read.
This is Sirach chapter 33, verse 1. There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord, but in temptation even again He will deliver him.
Exactly. And we're learning, the Lord is rehearsing these acts, so to speak, in us, with us through our day-to-day, man. When we go through something that's frustrating, the more we go through stuff, the less frustrated we become. Meaning that we're growing in patience. The more things that happen to us and we not make case, that means we're growing in what? Faith, man. So the Lord is spiritually exercising us, man. That's why I talk about the spiritual meat and the senses have been exercised. Our spiritual senses are being exercised every day we go through affliction, man. Every day we wake up and we're still here, man.
Right. Read that one more time.
Sirach chapter 33, verse 1. There shall no evil happen unto him that feareth the Lord, but in temptation even again He will deliver him.
And that's how you know that the elect were ordained from the beginning of time, man. The Most High put that seal upon them from the beginning of time to understand this knowledge right here, right now, to get beamed up in those chariots. Right now, what the elect are going through, they're just going through the furnace of affliction to become righteous on this side, man. That way to teach these nations. Okay, I
got to precept what you just said, and I'll get back to it. This is Ephesians chapter 1, verse 3. Blessed be the Most High and the Father of our power, the Father of our Lord, YAHAWASHI HaMashiach, who has blessed us with all spiritual blessings in heavenly places in HaMashiach, according as He hath chosen us in Him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before Him in love.
Right, and that's the spirit, because if you take the account of King David and what he did with his general Uriah, sleeping with his wife, you know, bearing a son, the Most High put that baby to death, man. And what did he do, King David do? He sent his general Uriah out there to get killed there so he can get with Bathsheba, man. But that's two things right there he really should have got put to death for. But you know what? He had favor with the Most High, YAHAWASHI, with his heart. You telling me King David ain't the part of the elect, man? That's right.
Found blameless.
But I had to. All right. This is Isaiah chapter 65 and verse 11. But ye that forsake the Lord, that forsake my holy mountain, that prepare the table for the truth, and for the furnished that drink the offering unto that number. Therefore I will number you to the sword. Ye shall all bow down to the slaughter, because when I called, ye did not answer. When I spake, ye did not hear, but did evil before my eyes, and did choose that wherewith that I delighted not. Verse 13, therefore thus saith the Lord Yahawah, behold, my servants shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servants shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. And it goes on and on. I'll just read verse 14. Behold, my servants shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit, man. And that's going back into having stability in the times to come, which is the times of Jacob's trouble, which is why in Proverbs 16 it tells you that the Lord created all things unto himself, even the wicked for the day of evil. So this wicked time that we coming in, yeah, Esau on the planet Earth, he's the one spearheading it, but it's really YAHAWASHI who ordained this evil times we coming into. That is like the crucible, that last test. You know, like when you go to school and you have a bunch of tests, but to get to the next level, you got to take that final exam. Man, these bad times we're going into is like this final last exam before we cross that threshold, man. That's why I love Ecclesiastes 7 and 8. Better it is the end of a thing than the beginning of it. It's like, you know, for the most part, you know what I'm saying? Better it is the end of a thing. Because the end of this kingdom, man, to make it out of this kingdom, to make it to the end alive and on a chariot, there's no better thing, honorable thing out here. That's why in Wisdom of Solomon 4 it says that we counted their life, their end without honor. And that's what they do. That's what they do. That's what these heathens do. They walk around and they count our life as madness, man. Because we sacrificed and we turned away from this world, and we looking forward to new heavens and new earth, man.
This is Sirach, chapter 33 and 11. In much knowledge, the Lord hath divided them and made their ways diverse.
Yeah, and that's why in the kingdom, these nations are going to be divided into their land, where they belong at, man. But they're going to learn our culture, man, by pain of death, man, if need be, man. They're going to learn our way of life, just like they learned the so-called white man way of life. They don't have a problem with his wicked-ass society. They don't have no problem with it, man. As long as they got a Starbucks and a club and some chicken, they straight, man. Hey, we'll go back to trading with each other without tariffs. Yeah. And all kind of real money. Shit. You know, real money. Got to shave a little off the top of everything. Yeah, real gold. What the fuck is a petro? When you really look at it, what the fuck is a petrodollar? What's a petro yuan? What's any of that shit? A dead note. None of that shit is trade. All the motherfuckers are under the fucking decentralized bank anyway. But that's why it says a wise judge will instruct his people, because Esau has took the knowledge and understanding from these people completely. That way he can rob them blind and they not even know it, man. They work for FRNs for debt notes, man. Both sides. Everything that they work for, and then Esau taxes the shit out of their own citizens, man. So this whole world is created because of the wicked being in rulership. It's unrighteous decrees, man. Which is why it says in John 10 and 10, I came that they may have life and have it more abundantly. Now the Lord has talked about the nation of Israel, but in the grand scheme of things, all nations are going to have life more abundantly than they have it here, man. They just not going to have immortality, man. That's a gift that belongs to the nation of Yasharahla. That's why it says in Romans 9, it says, I have continual sorrow for my brethren and my kinsmen, which are Israelites, which pertaineth the adoption, the glory, the service, and the giving of the laws, man. And it pertains to Yasharahla, man. And what's the service of YAHAWASHI Yahushua? It's being a nation of kings and priests onto the nations, man. At one point, the service was the Levites atoning for the sins of us, but now we're going into the order of Melchizedek, where we will all be kings and priests unto the Gentiles, minus the Edomites, man. But it tell you that that whole Levitical priesthood was a shadow of things to come.
Exactly.
Because we were learning how to be intercessed between, having the priest intercess between us and the Most High. And now as a nation, we're going to be intercessors between the Most High and the rest of the world.
And that's why we got to look at Yahawashi as our big brother and the #1 example. Because he did everything that we're going to do. He was a mediator for the nation of Yasha Allah to Yahawah. Now that we learned from his example, we are going to set that example for the Gentiles in the kingdom by being that mediator. The same way Yahawashi was.
I got a precept for you. This is Hebrews chapter 2, verse 17. Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to the Most High, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people. So the Lord wanted to be made in the fashion of his brethren.
Right.
And it says that he's not ashamed to call us brethren, man. And that's deep, man. Because we don't deserve, man.
Right, all the wickedness that we did.
What you just say though? For the
Said
sins
that
of
he
his
wasn't
people.
even worthy to even tie his shoe.
I'm gonna try to find it, man.
Not everybody.
Exactly. His people. I got why y'all getting this. I got it because you keep bringing up the elect, right? So this is 2nd Ezra chapter 2 verse 42. I, Ezra, saw upon the Mount Sion a great people whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord with songs. And in the midst of them was a young man with a high stature, taller than all the rest.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because in that, Edris saw what you see in Revelations, man. What's that? Revelations, the 14th chapter, where it talk about they sung the song and only the 144 new song. Edris witnessed the crowning ceremony, man. That's deep. Edris actually got to see Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the elect of them, get crowned. And those crowns are forever, man.
And in the midst of them, there was a young man of high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly.
Yeah, man, because Yahawashi took the biggest risk, man, which is why he's gonna get the biggest reward, man. But we are all joint heirs, man. That's why it says this, Hebrews 2:10, for it became him for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, and bringing many sons unto glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings. For both he that sanctifieth and they who are sanctified are all of one, for which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren, man. And that's, bro, that's a breathtaking statement for Yahawashi to say that he's not ashamed to call us brothers, man. And to say all of our righteousness is as filthy rags, man. And what he did was something that we could never repay, man.
He answered and said unto me, these be they that have put off the mortal clothing and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahawah. Now are they crowned and receive palms. Then said I unto the angel, what young person is it that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, it is the Son of Yahawah, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord.
And not only is Edris gonna be commend us, but the rest of our nation is gonna commend us, man. Just like in Esau's army, when you do something act of valor, so to speak, you get rewarded. You get a ceremony. And they all talk about what you did to earn the medal, and then they place the medal on you, and everybody get the clap. Well, that's gonna be the 144 in the elect, man. Because they passed from death to life, man. They took off the corruptible and put on incorruption, man. And that's what we fighting for, you got it.
This 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 18. And the Lord, Yahawah, Bahashem Yahawashi, deliver me from every evil work, and will preserve me until his heavenly kingdom, to whom be glory forever and ever.
And just like the brother said beautifully, man, this is the final exam. Truly, this life is the final exam, man. Right. The Lord with great labor has put us on this planet over and over again to make us better and better every time. And this is coming now is the hardest lesson we ever gonna have to go through, man. Right. That's why that's a beautiful analogy, because this is the final exam, man. What you go, when you start off school, you go to first grade, second grade. Well, the Lord done had us come here lifetime after lifetime, man. And now we're at the final chapter of mortality, man. Right. It's the final stage. We about to fight the biggest boss of mortality, man. Which is the flesh. Come on. And that's what, yeah, you got it.
This is Revelation chapter 5 and starting at verse 4. And I wept much because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon. Verse 5, and one of the elders said unto me, weep not, behold, the lion of the tribe of Yahawadah, the root of David, hath prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof. And I behold, and lo, in the midst of the thrones and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders stood a lamb, as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 spirits of Yahweh sent forth into all the earth. We'll break that down. Go ahead. Verse 7. And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him and sat upon the throne. Verse 8. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harp and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of the saints. Verse 9. And they sung a new song, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof, for thou wast slain and hast redeemed us to Yahweh by the blood out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation.
Got it?
Oh, Khan, right. So that's talking about the conquering lion is referring to YAHAWASHI. If I'm not mistaken, the 7 is referring to the 7 the trumps as well, right?
Where in Revelation 7?
Revelation 5. It says right here. The 7 spirits of Yahweh sent forth into all the earth. That's talking about the 7 trumps, right? Yeah, that's why I didn't want to break that down like that. But that's how you know that YAHAWASHI, when he went on the cross, actually started the beginning of the end, man. That was actually the beginning of the downfall of Esau's kingdom. That's when YAHAWASHI got the victory, when he made it on the cross undefiled, without blemish, man. I had another precept. You got another one?
I got a precept. This is Isaiah chapter 29, verse 11. And the vision of all is become unto you as the words of a book that is sealed, which men deliver to one that is learned, saying, read this, I pray thee. And he said, I cannot, for it is sealed. Because that book that's being talked about and the lamb that's worthy to open it, that's this understanding, man. And what the brother was bringing out is a vision that John saw, was that the lamb was worthy to give us this understanding, man. That this book was sealed, the book of life was sealed for a portion of time, man.
This is Jeremiah. This is Jeremiah chapter 49. I'll start at verse 16. And it says, matter of fact, I'll start at verse 14. I have heard a rumor from the Lord, an ambassador sent unto the heathen, saying, gather ye together and come against her, and rise up to her in battle. For lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised amongst men. Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O thou that dwellest in the cleft of the rock, that holdest the height of the hill, through thou shouldest make thy nest as high as the eagle. I will bring thee down from thence, saith the Lord. And that's talking about Esau, Edom, man. And this is talking about his pride, right? Now, it takes a proud man to sit here and try to put a RFID chip in the nation of Yasharala, man. They want to chip the entire earth, but really and truly, they want to get the children of Israel chipped. Why? Because the Most High is trying to program us, man. Straight.
Yeah, the Lord is going to program us, man. The Lord is going to give us dominion, man. That's why everything that Esau doing is really in vain, because the Lord had already written it.
Yeah, right.
And when Yahawashi died and was raised up again, that was it. That's the W right there. We're just waiting for it to actually play out, man.
Right.
That's why it says, the Lord says, "Fear not, for I have already conquered the world," man.
Right.
In Yahawashi, we are more than conquerors, man.
Verse 17, also Edom shall be a desolation, everyone that goeth by it shall be astonished, and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah, and the neighboring cities thereof, saith the Lord, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it. Behold, he shall come up like a lion from the swelling of Jordan against the habitation of the strong, but I will suddenly make him run away from her. And who is a chosen man that I may appoint over her? For who is like me, and who will appoint me to time? I'm slacking. Who will appoint me the time? And who is that shepherd that will stand before me?
And that shepherd is Yahawashi, man. That's the leader of the flock, man. And the 144 and the 1/3 are the cream of the crop, man. Truly the ones that started in the beginning, man. The first fruits was the Lord said that you were with me from the beginning, man. I mean, the first fruits were here to create everything that you see, man. Under the ordainment of Yahweh, the Most High, man. That's why it says Yahawashi, for whom all things were created, and by whom all things were created. It was created for him, by him, man. On the cosign of the Most High, man. The Most High giving him the instructions. And the same thing, it says that the world was made for our sakes. And it tells you that it was made by him and for him. It tells you that we are joint heirs.
This is Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5. Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nation.
So it was nothing that you were going to be able to do to prevent that destiny if you are of the elect. It don't matter where the Lord put you at in this life. Once he turned that light bulb on, that's what it was, man. And that's what it's going to be. Jonah tried to run from his duties, man. And the Lord wouldn't allow it, man. And the Lord told Paul, why fightest thou against why kick against the pricks? When you go into that, it's dealing with when a donkey or a bull, whenever it kicks or bucks up, there's something to cut its heel. Which shows you that the harder you work against what you're supposed to be doing, you're only hurting yourself. That's what Yahawashi meant when he said, why kickest thou against the pricks, man? Because, you know, and a good analogy to the pricks is how the Westerners had the little star on their boots. Whenever the horse will buck up, he hit him, the spur. He hit him with the, tighten up. Yeah, right. Hit him with that blade. That's what Yahawashi was talking about, kicking against the pricks.
This is Jude chapter 1.
But not just that, it's also how the Lord chastened Israel, man. You know, every time he went off, the Lord would chasten us.
But it's slavery over and over and over and over and over again.
Kicking against
That's why Yahawashi was going to usher in the everlasting salvation. This is Jude chapter 1 and verse 5. I will therefore put you in remembrance, though ye once knew this, how that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believed not. Verse 6, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day.
And it said that I put you in remembrance, though you once knew this, man. We had a concept the new song, so to speak, has bars that a lot of people just look over, man. And reincarnation is hinted out throughout the scriptures, throughout the new song, man. As well as the elect being the first fruits, the first angels to be created, man. Some of the first spirits to be created, man. You have more on that, huh?
No, I said.
It's Isaiah 44, verse 1. It say, Yet not hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, whom I have chosen. Thus saith the Lord, Yahawah, by Hashem Yahawashi, that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou, Jeshurun, whom I have chosen.
Yeah. That's why we shouldn't have fear, man. The Lord gonna deliver us, man. You got another one up?
Yeah. This is Isaiah 46, verse 3. It say, hearken unto me, O house of Jacob, and all the remnant of the house of Israel, which are born by me from the belly, which I carried from the womb. Just going back what you were talking about from Jeremiah 1:5.
Yeah, because we have full faith in what Yahawashi told us, man. Which is why we don't mind standing in great boldness and denying ourselves and picking up our cross daily, man. Because we understand not only the gifts, but the salvation from the judgment, man. We're hoping to be pardoned from our iniquities, man. We've already done the crime. That's finished. We've already done the crime, and we're praying for a pardon right now, man. That's why in Ezekiel the 9th chapter tell you that exactly. Come on.
It's Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord saith unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst of them. And that's how you know Jerusalem's a people before it's a place, man. Because when he was saying go through the midst of Jerusalem, he was talking about the people. Go through the midst of people and set a mark upon them. That sigh and that cry, man. You can't go to Iraq in the land of Israel and set a mark upon it, man.
Right.
This Jerusalem, the Jerusalem is talking about a people, man.
No matter where you put them,
no matter. And that's why John the Revelator said he's seen a new Jerusalem descending out of heaven from God, man.
Right.
From Yahawashi Yahawashi.
This Isaiah chapter 58, verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins.
And that's what our job is, man. To be fishers before we can have the privilege of being hunters, man.
Right. Being that you said that, if I could say this, like the brother just said beautifully, our job is to be fishers before, you know, rather than hunters, man. Meaning when we come out to camp, we don't come out to camp to get into confrontations with heathen. That's not the point. We believe in this word wholeheartedly. We know the fate of a heathen, man.
Yep.
There's no, whether he believes it or not, we know he's going into slavery.
Yep.
Or if he's an Edomite, he's going into slavery and he's getting put to death after 1,000 years. Our job is to wake up the elect of Yashar Allah, whether they be here in front of us or in YouTube land, man. Right. That's our job. And through our discourse with people here, whether sometimes it might be confrontational, it might be, you know what I'm saying, but we gotta use our knowledge in these scriptures skillfully, man. Any man with knowledge knows that right time, right place. And even the Most High said in Ecclesiastes that there's a right time, there's a time and a place for things under heaven, man. Right. There's a time and a season. So that applies for us standing here at camp too, man. There's a time and a season for how we deal with people, you know?
That's because you got a lot of Jake and YouTube land that's entertainment Israelites, man.
Right. This ain't
they want to see a AMC theater movie out here with the scriptures, man. They're not really about being edified, man. They're not sincere. They just want to see confrontation, man. Just like people who watch World Star. You don't watch World Star to get edified. You watch World Star to be entertained. And all of the people that watch this for entertainment, it's going to be death unto you, man. And it's going to be the worst kind of death because you're going to know the truth and the Lord's still going to deal with you, man, harshly, man. Because your intentions aren't right, man. The Lord is bringing us in here to be spiritual. The carnal battle is coming, man, but you got to be spiritual first. When you talk about fishing, man, fishing ain't fun. People don't go out there and sit in the water for fun, man. it's a very monotonous, slow job, man.
If I can say this too, Slakia, you got it. Like I said earlier, Yahawashi set the example and taught us how to be a mediator, right? Well, Yahawashi also taught us how to be fishers before men, right? If you really look, because it tells you in Isaiah 66 that he's gonna come back with fire, man. When he came the first time, he didn't come like that. He came as a fisherman. And the second time he comes back, then he's coming back as a hunter. He will not meet thee as a man. So how much more for the nation of Yasha'Allah or the elect, man? Yeah. We right now, we're fishers, man. And when Yahawashi comes, we follow his lead. Right. He was a fisher, we gotta be fishers. Right. When he comes back as a hunter, then we'll be ordained and given that spirit to be hunters. It tells you that Ezekiel 25, man, starting at the 13th verse, man. We'll do it. Well, you said it already.
It's Romans chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope.
Can you read that one more time?
Well, Romans chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning.
Yeah, stop right there. The scripture says the things that were written aforetime were written for our learning. So when we're out here, the scripture says, I gain through thy precepts, I gain understanding. So when the scriptures were written for our learning as the nation of Yasha'Allah, we already know why was it written for our learning? Because we forgot who we were, we forgot who the devil was. We don't need to sit here and tell the devil he's the devil 24/7. We need to make sure that we're waking up the 144,000 that they know that the devil is the devil, man. Because he's going into slavery and he's getting put to death regardless if he believes it or he's not. Right. You know, and you know, Elder CHAARAWTAZA brings this out all the time. The person standing here might be an atheist. You know, there's no point debating him within the scriptures when he doesn't believe in the scriptures. Yeah. But our dialogue with him is to capture that Jake in YouTube land who's an atheist, to show that Jake that his atheism it has fallacies within it, man. And then after that, that's when we go back into the precepts again to bring that brother home through the spirit and power of Yahawah Hashem Yahushua, if it be his will. It's that simple, man. A lot of Jake want to see like you brought out beautifully, entertainment, man. This is serious business. These are things that are gonna shortly come to pass, man.
Yeah. This is life or death. You don't go to the hood to be entertained because you know your body might get touched. Right. Don't nobody pull up on the most dangerous block in the city for entertainment because they know they'll be touched. But in the comfort of their home, they'll look at what goes on in the hood and be entertained by it. The Lord is going to touch all bodies. Every man is going to have to make an account for his actions, man. That's a reality, man.
Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord. They shall fish for them, and after I will send for many hunters. So right now, he said, behold, I will send for many fishers. What is the job of a fisherman? The fisherman gets his fishing rod ready. He makes sure his line has no kinks in it. He gets his bait. He casts in the water, and his job is to lure in the fish. You know what I'm saying? And what's our bait? According to Ezekiel 37, the sign, the scriptures, the word, the understanding, that's the bait, man. After we get in that bait and we draw in that fish, it says right here, Yahawashi said, and after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes and of the rocks. Now, those hunters is not just going to be Jake. Those hunters are even going to be the angels as well. It tells you that in Matthew 13, that the reapers shall gather the tares in my barn and shall burn them. Yep. And Yahawashi tells you, and when he explains the parable, he says that the reapers were the angels, man. So it's not just going to be, the angels are going to be getting busy.
But that also shows you that you're not supposed to judge a man based on his skin, because it says that the angels are going to have the responsibility of separating the wheat and the tares. You're supposed to go fishing. Right. The angels are going to separate the good fish from the bad ones, the ones that are actually chosen and the ones who aren't. That's why when Jake see this in YouTube land, they see a so-called white-looking person come on camera. Oh, that's an Edomite. Hey, get the Revelation 13:9, get that 14:21. You read Obadiah. They ready to go in, but you don't even know what spirit is in that man.
And that's why you brought out beautifully Sirach 2. It says to not what? Make haste.
Right.
And to take patiently, right? This is Matthew 13 and 28. He said unto them, an enemy hath done this. The enemy hath done this. The servant said unto him, wilt thou then that we have go gather up the tares? What is it? So basically they're talking about hunting right there. In a time that you're supposed to be fishing, right? And Yahawashi had to correct them. He said, but he said, nay, lest will ye gather up tares, ye root up also the wheat with them.
Right. Right. Because you could be telling a so-called white person that you going into slavery and you don't even know that's an Israelite spirit in that body. That means you fishing all wrong. And you could be held accountable for that. Even worse. YAHAWASHI can hold you accountable for that mistake, man.
You're going to live with that, and you're going to have to live in the kingdom with that.
Not one of these little ones.
Exactly.
Right? And then when you get in the kingdom, you're going to have that on your conscience for a very long time, man. This is Matthew, and it's verse 30. Matter of fact, I'll read 29 again. But he said, nay, meaning no, lest while ye gather up the tares, ye root up also the wheat with them. Verse 30, very important. Let both grow together until the harvest. And in the time of the harvest, I will say, I repeat, I will say to the reapers, gather ye together first the tares, and bind them in bundles to burn them, but gather the wheat into my barn, man. So Yahawashi is going to give that order, man, to the angels to separate the wheat from the tares. And then that barn too is talking about, I heard this talking about the chariots, man. That,
one shall be taken, one shall be left.
Right.
Yes,
Gather them to my barn.
Beautiful point, huh?
It's good. But yeah, it's up to the will. It's up to the will of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. This is his program, man. So all you Akim out there in YouTube land that just want to see bloodthirsty, you know, Edomite killing, that's not what this is about, man. Because like I said, that's a proud spirit, man.
But that show you that Jake is you got carnal Israelites out there, man. Just to be frank about it, you got carnal Israelites. Israelites that have the flesh on their bones, but they don't have the breath, like it said in Ezekiel 37.
Right.
They know who they are.
No, being lowly and meek in this thing is having patience, man. Being able to withstand the furnace of affliction that we in, man. And just waiting on Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi to give his orders, man. And that's really only gonna come to somebody who really believes in the prophetic word of this book, man. And these prophecies, man.
And that's where the faith goes, because you know, if you trust in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, if he say that I'm gonna gather and all the tares are gonna be thrown and burnt, then you should be preaching the word. Do your job. Your job is to preach the word, especially if you're in YouTube land and you ain't even out here laboring. You have nothing to say, man. You should be quiet and learn. If the Lord ain't even put the spirit on you to come out here and labor, you shouldn't be commenting on how brothers should be teaching, and your page ain't got no videos on it, man.
That's why the Apostle Paul said, though I be rude in speech, yet not in knowledge. Now that shows a distinction between rude and knowledge, man. Yeah. That shows that the Apostle Paul knew when and when. Right time, right place. He knew when he had to talk as a barbarian, and he knew when he had to talk as a learned man. He spoke as a barbarian around barbarians, and spoke as a learned man around learned men.
That's why he said, let your speech be seasoned with salt, man. To know when to bob and when to throw a jab, man. When to weave and duck up out of it and when to throw your jabs. Sometimes confrontation is gonna happen, and it's inevitable, man.
He also said be a few words too.
Oh, right. What's up, man? You got a question?
All right, you keep going.
All right. Yep. Yeah. But we gotta make sure that we fishing correctly, because you could be out here fishing all wrong. Just like Jake in the world say, you hustling backwards, man. You could be out here on the block all day for years and be doing it all wrong, man. And worst of all, you could be held accountable for that, man.
This is Jeremiah chapter 48, verse 10. Cursed be he that doeth the work of the Lord deceitfully.
Yeah, because you could be doing the work and still have that old ass nigga in you, man. It say let go of the old man. You can know you're an Israelite and still be a nigga, man. And that's deceitful, man, because you out here cussing out all the other nations and you ain't right yet, man. You're not even trying to get right, man. And that's what we have now. You have a lot of, on the comment board especially, a lot of carnal Israelites, man, who not really in this to be obedient to Yahawashi Yahawashi,
like
Father.
The one dude who said, you know, you guys are going off because you're trying to make a discernment on who's the tares and who's the wheat. So we sit here and we curse out a white dude.
Still do.
Yeah, you still making a
discernment.
Because you don't know who he is.
And you're actually discerning in error, because if you preach the word in sincerity, whether he's an Israelite or not, your hands are clean now. Right. If you call him a Edomite and you tell him he's going into slavery and it ends up not being an Edomite, blood is on your hands, man. And when it's time for the Lord to crown brothers and give brothers the privilege of being hunters, you're not going to be part of that fold, man, because you've been hustling backwards out here. The Lord talks about the talents, man. We've all been given money. You can't decide what's a good customer and what ain't. That ain't your job. Your job is to get out here and do the work.
I got must be a lot of read.
Yes, that must be a lot of read.
I gotta go.
And going back to Yahawashi setting the example again, right? This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 36. It says, but that day and hour knoweth no man, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So even Yahawashi, when he came as a fisher, he had to fish. It wasn't on his will to start, you know, gathering and destroying, man. He is under the subjection of the Father Yahweh just as well as we're under the subjection, and have to be fishers when it's time to be fishers and hunters when it's time to be hunters. And if Yahawashi himself had to follow that order, how much more us?
Yeah.
Who are we?
Yeah.
Who are we?
He was perfect.
Right, and it tells you right here in Matthew 26, in verse 53, if I'm not mistaken, it says, thinkest thou that I cannot now pray for my Father, and he shall presently give me more than 12 legions of angels? So Yahawashi basically saying he had the power to call down 12 legions of angels, but it wasn't time. Yep. It wasn't time for that. Going back to Matthew 24 and 36, that nobody knoweth the time, no man, not even the angels, only my Father in heaven. Man, this order in this, Most High Yahawashi deals with order. So if Yahawashi is subjected onto something, and we're under Yahawashi, we're subjected onto all the things Yahawashi is subjected onto. And that's what he was teaching us, man.
I got, this is John 10 and 10. The thief come not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for the sheep. But he that is an hireling and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming and leaveth the sheep and fleeth. And the wolf catches them and scattereth the sheep.
Yeah, because a lot of Israelites out there are carnal and they're hirelings, man. They only doing it for their own belly, man. They not out here hustling and doing the business of Yahawashi Yahawashi in sincerity, man. That's why the wicked servant, the wicked and slothful servant, what did he do? He hid his money because he was scared to lose it. He was lazy, man.
I got fire. Remember, fire is this word, right? This is Philippians chapter 1. I'm gonna start at verse 14. And many of my brethren in the Lord, waxing confident by my bonds, are much more bold to speak the word without fear. Some indeed preach Hamashiach, even of envy and strife, and some also of goodwill. The one that preach Hamashiach of contention, not sincerely, supposing to add affliction to my bonds, but the other of love, knowing that I am set for the defense of the gospel. What then? Notwithstanding, every way, whether in pretense or in truth, Hamashiach is preached, and I therein do rejoice. Yeah, I will rejoice. So, whether you preach in Yahawashi in truth or in contention, we know that there's already a left-hand side and there's a right-hand side. So either way, you still preaching Yahawashi. Because he controls both ends of the spectrum. You're just fulfilling prophecy on the left-hand side, and the one preaching in sincerity is fulfilling prophecy on the right-hand side.
That's why I say
It's just that simple.
you're going to have some that say, Lord, Lord.